Hey Missy, you're so fine, you blow my mind. Hey Missy, hey Missy.
Hello everybody and welcome to I'm trying to do an intro here. Hello everybody, welcome to
I'll put it down.
Welcome to
I'll stop.
This close. Here with you. Welcome to Doctor Who, the TV log. This is clever, he came up with it.
I came up with it.
This for what's the name of the episode? I forgot.
The Magician's Apprentice.
The Magician's Apprentice.
Season 9, Episode 1.
Alright. Matt.
Yeah.
You were a huge fan of Doctor Who, so I'll go first.
Okay. Shut up. Are we gonna talk about what the episode's about, or are we just gonna go straight into it?
We're gonna talk about what it's about first.
Okay.
And then we'll do pros and cons.
Cool. I'll tell you what you got wrong.
What did I get? I didn't say anything.
I know, I'm waiting.
Oh. I didn't know you were actually gonna let me go first. I thought you were gonna take it back.
I mean, if you want me to go first, I mean...
No, fuck you.
Okay.
So...
Go ahead.
You know what? You have the screwdriver. You do it.
Okay, so... This episode is about...
You have the screwdriver while you do this.
Okay. This episode is about, the doctor has gone missing, and Clara's all like, where's the doctor? And then Missy, the master, who is a girl now, since the end of last season, I guess since all of last season, she comes to Clara and she's like,
She's not dead, by the way.
She's not dead, big surprise.
She died at the end of season 8, and she came back.
I don't know if she really died or not. I doubt it.
Apparently not, because she's alive now.
I know. Anyway.
That's why I put died in air quotes, because it didn't happen.
But, and she's like, I have the doctor's, last will and testament, his confession dial, and they go find him. He's in, 11, 20-something or whatever, I don't know, back in the Middle Ages. There's
Vikings.
There's Vikings and shit. And the doctor's like, it's his last day or whatever, and he's like, I'm gonna die. And they're like, why are you gonna die? And then it turns out, Davros, first of all, the episode begins with the doctor on his battlefield.
I'm so glad you already explained half the episode, and now you're gonna say how it begins.
The doctor's on his battlefield, and there's this little kid that's surrounded by hand mines, which are hands that pop out of the ground and grab you and pull you down.
They have eyes.
They have eyes on their palm, like the guy from Pan's Labyrinth.
They're completely unexplained.
They are unexplained, but they're cool looking. And he's like, I'm gonna save you, kid. Tell me your name so I know the name of the kid I'm gonna save. And he's like, Davros, as in the creator of the Daleks. And the doctor,
dun dun dun!
And the doctor's like, oh shit, here's one of my most powerful enemies at my mercy. Should I save him? He leaves. Leaves him.
Spoiler alert.
He leaves. That's like at the beginning of the episode he does that.
Anyway,
he leaves.
Who cares?
And then
it's a review.
Turns out that Davros remembers that, even though he didn't bring this up to the doctor in the 40 years he's been on the show, and he just now brings Just now brings up that he remembers that the doctor left him for dead, but whatever, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey bullshit, whatever. So Davros is dying, even though I thought he was already dead after the last time we saw him, but whatever. And he's like, Doctor, I remember that you didn't save me in that battlefield, so he's like, you need to come here or else everybody dies. So he goes there, and then
Don't forget about the snake guy.
Oh yeah, there's a snake guy who is he's in this cloak, and he glides around when he moves, and turns out he's actually just a pile of snakes. He's so cool.
It's weird.
He's weird, but he's cool. Stop that.
Sorry.
And he's working for Davros. He's his number 2 now. And then Missy and Clara try to escape, but they get recaptured with the Daleks. Missy dies, Clara dies, the TARDIS dies, and then the Doctor goes back in time to kill Davros after he leaves him there.
It ends with him pointing a Dalek gun at Davros and being like, exterminate! And I'm like, oh shit, tables have turned.
So yeah, next episode.
He also loses his sonic screwdriver, which is why you have it, because you took it, you dirty son of a bitch.
Because in the past he threw it at Davros so that he could do some Thank you. He gave it to Davros because it created some audio canal or whatever, so the Doctor could talk to him 50 feet away.
And used it like a walkie-talkie.
Yeah, and so pretty much So pretty much for his entire life, Davros has had this, and we're just not... Like, I get that he said this retroactively, but, like, Davros has been around since, like, the 70s. And, like, I understand that it's retroactive, but it's kind of hard to believe that Davros went his entire life menacing the Doctor pretty much, and he just now, like, brought up, oh yeah, by the way, I remember this bullshit you did to me. Although I guess the Doctor didn't technically do this until now, but, like, I don't know, maybe spoilers, maybe he was like, you know, I'm gonna wait until you're in this incarnation where you did this to fuck with you. Maybe he was like, wait until he died, maybe he was like, this is my master plan, I'm gonna wait until I'm dying and then guilt trip the Doctor major hard.
He's just gonna guilt trip him to death?
Yeah, that was his plan, he's like, you know, yeah, I'm gonna wait until, like, I'm dying to where... He's died a bunch of times, so I'm fine. I don't know. It doesn't make sense, but I don't care. It's cool.
Alright, so there's Matt's really long and wibbly and wobbly explanation of what the episode's about. And now we're gonna do pros and cons.
Yeah.
So pros.
I liked it. That's it. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you, Matt.
I like...
just say, the scene with Capaldi playing the guitar on the tank.
So when he's
setting
the scene for you guys. So Missy and Clara go back in time to find the Doctor, and they're in this like Middle Ages place, and they're like, you know, Missy's like, we need to find the Doctor, so look for any anachronism, any tiny little anachronism, any subtle little anachronism, locate him. So the Doctor comes in the Middle Ages, riding on a tank.
Riding on a tank.
Playing
an electric guitar.
Playing the Doctor Who theme on an electric guitar. I'm kind of like, huh. And what was really, did you notice that, like, when he saw Missy and was walking towards me, he started playing the opening to Pretty Woman?
I did not.
No, like, it took me a minute to realize what that was, but, like, he sees Missy and starts
like
going...
from Sweeney Todd?
No, like the actual song Pretty Woman.
Oh.
Like the da 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 da.
I recognized it too. I didn't know what the song was.
I was like, is he playing Barracuda? But then I was like, no, he's playing Pretty Woman because he sees Missy. Oh, that's cute.
She's a pretty woman.
Missy's great in this episode, by the way, too.
Missy's awesome.
Oh my god, she was great last season, but oh my god, she is like phenomenal here. Like, she is so insane, and I love her. Missy's my favorite version of the Master now.
She's great.
She is so great. Like, she's like, yeah, not dead, big surprise, moving on.
Yeah, she's just like, I'm not dead, I'm back, whatever, fuck it, you don't care, you're watching a fucking show, let's go.
You don't care, you want to be back anyway. And we did, and we're glad she's back. Because I love her, and she's awesome. And her and the Doctor are adorable together.
Yeah.
Like...
another pro, I do like them finally exploring the origin of Davros.
Yeah, like...
Because in the New Who, that's what it's called, right?
New Who, yeah.
They don't really explain. There's not a lot of Davros stuff in it, but like the small amount there is, I'm like, I wonder where that guy came from.
They don't really explain a lot in the original.
Maybe I should go watch Old Who and figure that out.
I don't think they explain a lot in the original show either. It's just kind of like, it's just like, he's like, he was the creator of the Daleks, there was this war, he wanted it to end, so he made the Daleks, and that's about it. But now we get to see, you know...
Yeah, we see him as a little kid!
We see the war, like the early days of the war.
It's like when you see Anakin as a little kid, but not as shitty.
No.
And horrible.
That is kind of what it's like, isn't it? Like, you see Davros as a kid. It didn't, like, when I first saw that, I was like, my initial thought was, really, that guy looked like that? But I'm like, I guess he got mutated himself.
I don't know how.
Well,
I want to know how.
When this episode first started out, I was like, where are you going with this? And then I was like, oh shit! Like, that was probably my favorite moment of the episode, is when he's like, tell me, he's like, Davros, and I was like, oh my god. Like, it was kind of like when Missy was like,
oh shit.
It was kind of the same way when Missy was like, couldn't keep calling myself the Master, now could I was like, oh shit!
Yeah. It was weird because the episode opens with just the guys in the war and they have like bow and arrows and stuff and they're shooting at like spaceships and stuff, right? Yeah. And I'm like, I think I messaged you, I'm like, are you seeing this?
I think it's because, like, from what I read...
and then he's like, my name is Davros. I'm like...
The 1,000-Year War, I think, might help, like, degress some of the technology.
Okay.
So, like, that's kind of why I was like...
I don't know what the 1,000-Year War is.
And that's the war they were fighting.
I got that, but I don't know what it's about.
It took 1,000 years to happen.
Oh, they did explain it, didn't they? That they, like, forgot what they were fighting about?
Yeah. Like, it was so... I think what I remember is it was a civil war between two of the species, and, like, one of the species became the Daleks. I think that's what it is. I think it's like the Khaleds and the Thals. Khaled is Dalek backwards. Or it's a match of Dalek. Not exactly backwards, just the vowels reversed. Anyway, I'm focusing on this way too much. More pros. I just liked it overall. Like I thought it was a really when they released this synopsis where it was like the Doctor is going to be doing something that will have drastic cosmic cataclysmic changes, and I was like, that's a big sell right there. So you better follow through with this. The minute the kid said his name was Davros, I was like, oh shit, I know what you're talking about now.
The other thing that needs to be remembered, that this is part 1 of a 2-part episode.
This is part 1 of a 2-parter.
So it ends on a really big cliffhanger. And
the Doctor's gonna kill a child.
I was like, because it's him, he's pointing the Dalek gun at Davros, and he's like, exterminate?
I mean, I'm like, he's killed kids before.
I'm like, you can't leave the episode there.
He killed his entire planet.
What are you
It's not like he hasn't killed kids.
You can't leave the episode there. I got so upset. I was like, no!
Clara's dead, Missy's dead, the TARDIS is dead. Yeah, not really, they're not really dead. They're gonna come back.
Moving on to cons.
Well, at least Clara and the TARDIS are gonna come back. I know that for sure.
Missy's coming.
Missy might be, well, the creators kind of said that Master's never really dead, so
Moving on to cons, though.
Moving on to cons, there was something.
I had a couple.
Yeah, do you want to do yours now while I try to think about it?
Sure.
I think I already said it already, but
one of the big ones was the hand mines that you were talking about.
Okay, you're still focusing on this?
I didn't have a problem with them. I was just like, what are they? Why are they here? And why are they creeping me out?
They're sentient hands that pull people into the ground.
I get that, but explain their biology to me. I'm a simpleton. I need help.
They're hands!
That's not the biggest one.
Hand mines! It's in the title!
I get it.
Hand mines!
I get it, but where did they get
It's like landmines, but with hands!
But where did they get the hands?
They made them!
Out of what?
Science!
That doesn't make sense!
These are the same people that made the Daleks, and you're questioning how they made sentient hands that pulled you into the ground?
Yes.
This is not the weirdest thing on the show, Connor.
No, it's not.
This is the same episode where we have a pile of snakes
but
that can somehow form into a human, and you're questioning the logic of hand mines.
That one made more sense to me.
Really? That made more sense?
He coiled around and it looked like a person, but it wasn't a person. Like he had different sections of the snake's body that looked like a face, and it coiled around so that those sections matched up and it looked like a face. That made more sense to me. That I got.
If you say so, Chief.
These are just hands that just exist for no reason.
This is also a show where fucking statues can come to life and kill you.
That being said, they did creep me out and I like them.
The hand mines were cool.
The other thing was the last Will and Testament, the disc thing.
Yeah.
He sends it to Missy, right?
Yeah.
Because he thinks, oh, this is the last day I'm going to be alive.
Right.
Why has he never sent it to Missy before now? There have been plenty of other scenarios where it's been oh, this might be my last day alive. Why is this the first time he sends it to Missy?
I think it's a guilt thing. He knows he's...
But isn't it a ritual thing? When a Time Lord is going to die, it just gets sent?
I don't know. I don't know. That's weird. Yeah.
It seems weird to me.
I think it's that, number one...
Also, I mean, they bring it up in the episode, so it's not a huge deal. They thought Missy was dead, so why would he send it to Missy?
I think what they implied in the episode is...
They implied that
the Doctor
he was hoping she was still alive.
I think they implied that the Doctor knew she wasn't dead.
Yeah.
That's
not a big issue.
Because Clara was like, why are you lying?
My bigger issue is, why is this the first time this is being brought up?
Because I hadn't thought of it until now.
Obviously, but
I think it's more of a guilt thing. The Doctor knows he's fucked up, so he knows his days are numbered. So, maybe it's that he thinks that, well, the Daleks, if the ray works, it basically vaporizes you completely. Mm-hmm. So there's no body left behind to regenerate.
Yeah.
So maybe the Doctor knows that, he's gonna be going up against the Daleks, and maybe he's I fucked up majorly, so I'm just gonna let this happen so he has time to prepare. When it happened with, an example I use is, when 10 regenerated, he had time before he regenerated, but he knew he was gonna get a new body. But with 12...
But then there was also the thing with, 11, he spent, years on this
true.
planet.
That's
and,
true.
He was I'm gonna die, this is my last regeneration. Why didn't he send it then? I don't know. It's just a little plot.
I think it's more a guilt thing because it's the only reason you would send a final.
It doesn't ruin the episode for me.
It's a confession dial, so I feel like that means you only send that if you've majorly fucked up.
Okay.
Is what I think it is anyway. But it's not a big thing.
But she calls it the last Will and Testament of the Doctor.
Yeah, but she has called a confession dial.
Yeah.
I think it just means. I think
it doesn't ruin the episode. It's just a weird
I think it's the Doctor's fucked up. He's recording his final secret. like why he fucked up or whatever. He's sending out to Missy and then he's gonna die.
Not really a con, but just kind of another thing that the Dalek that finds Missy and Clara in the desert is the goofiest colored Dalek I've ever seen.
That's from the original series. Okay. That's what they look like in the original series.
Okay.
They weren't originally gold. They were like blue and like.
It was like blue and white, and I was like,
you also have to remember when the Daleks first appeared, it was black and white.
Yeah.
But
I'm just it was
no, it is silly as hell. It's silly, but that's what they originally looked like, and it was more or less to be like for the older fans to be like, oh, it's an original Dalek. That's cool. I'm shitting myself in my nursing home.
Yeah. The last con I want to bring up, the deaths of Missy, Clara, and the TARDIS.
Because you know it's not gonna be permanent.
Half that and half like they happen so quick.
Yeah.
It's like I get the Dalek weapon works like that, but like a little bit more emotional punch might have been helpful. Right. And then like also like okay, I know they're coming back next time. Dead.
Well, we know Clara and the TARDIS aren't dead.
Yeah,
like
just there wasn't any emotional weight attached to those three like destroys.
I feel like
what do you call it with like the TARDIS is destroyed? Is it technically a death because TARDIS is alive?
I think it's a death. I call it a death.
So like all three of those deaths, I was just like that. I feel nothing.
The way I see it, it's that either the Doctor's going to do some timey-wimey shit to make that not happen, or this is
going to shoot Davros.
Or this was his plan all along, and they're not really dead.
Yeah.
Because you got to remember, last season Missy got vaporized, but wasn't really dead.
Yeah.
So like maybe they're tying into that, and that Missy like they also had a vortex manipulator. They could have just like teleported at the last minute.
But they didn't though.
Well, they could have.
They got shot.
We just didn't see it.
Yep. Yeah. You have any cons?
The only other thing that like you brought up most of what I had, but like the other thing is that like the thing about Davros and how he's known the Doctor for pretty much all his life, and he just now brought up the fact that he remembers that he screwed him over at the battlefield. But like I said, like they just made it up, but like it's still kind of stretching my suspension of disbelief that like Davros has been around since the 70s or so, and he's just now bringing this up.
Yeah.
So like, but again, you know, they retroactively add crap, I guess, the Doctor all the time. You know, maybe it's not that. Maybe it's like it just now happened, like, and the Doctor just now added it to his timeline. Yeah. I don't know. It's time travel stuff. I'm not gonna get
wobbly time.
It's wibbly wobbly. It's Doctor Who stuff. It's yeah.
One thing. This is neither a pro nor a con, but you brought this up to me. The fact that he's shooting, at the end of the episode, he's aiming a Dalek gun at Davros.
Yeah, which is like, there was a theory I read that was like, if he shoots Davros with a Dalek gun, then he kills the creator of the Daleks before he can create the Dalek gun, so that will create a paradox, and technically the Doctor never shoot Davros in the first place. So would that do anything, or would that do anything?
I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, like, that was a theory I read, and I thought it was a really good thing, and I told you that, and you were like, but that would make nothing would happen. I was like, oh shit, that's right. So like, I don't know if that...
Because if he kills Davros with the Dalek gun, then Davros never made the Dalek gun, so he can't shoot Davros with the Dalek gun.
And then the universe would collapse, because the Doctor created a paradox.
So he's either going to do absolutely nothing, or destroy everything.
Yeah. Or he's going to shoot the hand mines and take Davros in and be like, hey, you don't have to be a dick when you grow up, because I saved you.
But then, if that's the case, then if Davros doesn't become evil, he would never make the Daleks anyway, and therefore the paradox is still a thing.
Okay, you know what?
This is weird, wibbly wobbly, timey wimey theorized.
How about we wait till the episode comes out, and then we see what happens? Because trying to think about like let's
leave. I brought up this is part one of a 2-part episode.
Yeah, let's leave the complicated time travel writing to Stephen Moffat because he obviously knows how to do it without hurting himself. Because I can't write frickin' like paradoxical like I can write like a stable time loop thing, like something happens because you went back in time and did it, and that's why it happens. But like I can't write like paradox stuff because that hurts my head too much.
Alright. Anyway, I think that does it for us.
Anyway, that's just it. So, tune in next time when the Doctor's gonna kill a kid.
Alonzi.
That's the wrong Doctor.
I know.
You want Geronimo, or kidneys or whatever.
Kidneys! I've got new kidneys!